Hello YouTube, it's Alan, and today I'm here to give you an update about the fact that I have been doing subcutaneous injections of testosterone instead of intramuscular injections for almost 2 years now, or something like that, and it's been going fine. I feel good about it, and I like it better than doing the IM injections, and I haven't noticed any kind of negative effects, but I have heard that some people who do it feel that you maybe don't feel as steady in terms of hormones and your inner feelings and stuff. Or maybe I think I've heard some people might have some trouble with their T levels, you know, like what you would see through getting blood work. But it seems to be going fine for me. So in case you don't know about what it is, let me tell you. So with intramuscular injection, which is what I did for the first like 5 years or whatever of my transition, you get the testosterone into the syringe, and then you use a big needle, like 1.5 inches long, like relatively thick, and jab it into a large muscle, typically your glutes, in the upper outer part of your butt muscle, or your thigh, which I did not do that much because I found it psychologically harder to stab myself there for some reason. But so that's intramuscular, and so it can get difficult because especially as you're on T for some time, your skin can get a little thicker, and the muscles definitely get like harder just from the testosterone. So and not like from the injection itself, just as an overall effect of the testosterone. So it can get physically harder to do the intramuscular injection. I think I heard Dade talk about that, as I recall. Anyway, and it's just kind of a drag to have to keep doing that, like with this long needle, like going like way in there. So I thought, well, I'll try subcutaneous and see what that is. And so it was funny because I was talking to my doctor about it and asking, like, how do you do it? Like, it seems kind of complicated. And she was like, it's not complicated. Like, it's just you do it in the same way you would do an IM injection, but you just don't go as far, like you don't go so far down that you get the muscle. You just aim to get the end of the needle like in your subcutaneous fat tissue, like under the skin, but not as far as the muscle. And according to her, you know, I'm not a doctor, take this with a grain of salt, but according to her, you can kind of do it wherever it works for you. And I have heard of and seen trans guys doing the subcutaneous injection like in like some like belly fat, because it's way easier to do it in a place where there's like fat, like a little chunk that you can pinch and hold on to. So I was like, well, where do I want to do it? So I tried it like a couple times in kind of like the belly, like upper hip region, and I didn't like that. It was kind of especially sore afterwards, and just a little disconcerting to be stabbing a needle anywhere near, like, my organs. Not that the needle is not big enough for anything to happen, it's just like a psychological difficulty. So I have been injecting most of the time into kind of like almost the same kind of location as when I did the IM shot, like kind of on the upper part of my butt, but like a little bit more just on the side, on my side, rather than towards the back, because it's a lot easier to reach. And there's like a little kind of fold of like fat there that is pretty easy to grab onto. And so all you do is like, and I don't know that you probably don't even have to like kind of grab it and pinch it, but that is helpful for me, and it mentally helps because I'm not afraid that I'm gonna go too deep or something. And again, that's not actually really a danger because the needle, well, let's see, looks like the one that I have been using is 5/8 of an inch long. I feel like I was using a 1/2 inch one before, but it's a lot shorter than an 1.5 inches. So, oh, I got an unused one to show you. I should grab a used one so that I can take the cover off the needle so you can see it. I mean, who cares really, but I might as well. Just a second. Okay. So this is a used one, and it looks like that. So the needle is like that long, about as wide as my index finger, so it does not look as challenging as the big ones. And this one, the syringe has a 1 milliliter or 1 cc capacity. And let's cover that one up. And these that I have, well, for all of my subcutaneous injecting, I've used insulin syringes is what they're called. Or what the other ones were called. These are called tuberculin syringe. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's 25 gauge, and I just got these online. But the other ones I had were called insulin syringes. That was the official name of them. So I feel like that pretty much covers it. Yeah, so like I said, I'm feeling good about it. Oh, I should also add, it's kind of late in the game to say this, but the subcutaneous injections have caused me more soreness. Not the muscle soreness, of course, of the IM injections, but like soreness in the skin, fat, flesh area. Not terrible. There are a couple times here or there when it is especially bad for a couple of days afterwards, but the soreness is not really a problem for me, but it can be a little tender when I like press on it for the next day and a half or something like that. And my doctor said that some of her patients have tried subcutaneous injections and then went back to IM because the soreness was too much for them. And I can see how that could happen, especially if you did it in more sensitive areas, which I don't. And oh, that reminds me, a little trick. I mean, this is kind of obvious, but I know sometimes we all experience things that are kind of simple that don't occur to us necessarily, but Something I do to kind of find a spot that isn't too sensitive for the injection is in the region that I want to do, like the side of my hip or whatever, I will kind of like just scratch a little bit. And in some places, I can feel the scratching more than in others. So I'll do my shot in a place where I don't feel the scratching as much. I don't do that every time because I know where the spots are, but once in a while, if I want to try to do a slightly different spot or something, I'll do that. And as you should always do, I don't do the same spot twice in a row. I do an injection once a week, and so I'll alternate sides right and left from one week to the next. But I do kind of do a very similar, not the exact same, but similar spot. So I'm doing like kind of vaguely similar spot once every 2 weeks, but does not seem to be a problem. All right, well, that's it. I hope that was helpful if you're interested in learning about this, and thank you for watching. Bye.